The days passed gently at the small town shelter. Luna's puppies were growing fast, their tiny paws now able to move more confidently across the soft blankets. Each day brought a new sense of excitement and joy. The shelter staff and volunteers marveled at how quickly the little ones were learning about the world. Luna watched them carefully, her eyes always attentive, her movements calm and protective. Omar continued to visit every day. He had become a regular part of Luna and her puppies' lives. Each time he entered the room, Luna would wag her tail and approach him, resting her head gently on his lap. Omar would smile and softly pet her fur, feeling a special connection that went beyond words. He had grown to love the puppies and Luna as if they were his own family. One morning, Maya noticed something unusual. Luna had gathered all her puppies close to her and seemed to guide them gently toward Omar. The little ones crawled slowly but confidently, following their mother's gentle nudges. Luna nudged each puppy toward Omar's lap, encouraging him to interact with them carefully. It was a remarkable moment. Maya whispered quietly to Omar, "Luna is showing that she trusts you completely. She's including you in her family." Omar looked at Luna in amazement. "She really trusts me," he said softly. His eyes were wide with joy. Luna wagged her tail slightly and nudged him again, almost as if confirming his feeling. The puppies explored Omar's lap, sniffing and pawing gently while Luna watched with calm eyes. The bond between them had grown into something extraordinary. The volunteers noticed that Luna's behavior had changed in subtle ways. She was more confident and relaxed, and she seemed to understand that humans could be friends, not threats. When Omar was near, she would stay close, giving him small gestures of trust such as nudges, soft licks, and gentle tail wags. The puppies, in turn, seemed to sense Omar's kindness and would crawl toward him naturally. Omar spent hours playing quietly with the puppies. He would bring soft blankets, small toys, and even help Maya prepare warm water for the little ones. Luna watched every movement, sometimes nudging a puppy toward Omar or guiding it to the soft blanket. It was as if she was teaching her babies about kindness and patience through her actions. Omar felt honored and proud to be included in this special lesson from Luna. One afternoon, Omar noticed that Luna was behaving even more unusually. She nudged all her puppies into a small circle and then looked at Omar with a calm, focused gaze. It was clear that she wanted him to interact with them in a special way. Omar smiled softly and gently picked up a tiny puppy. He held it carefully, making sure it was comfortable. Luna watched closely, her eyes filled with trust and approval. As the days went by, the connection between Omar and Luna grew deeper. She would rest her head on his lap, allowing him to stroke her fur, and she encouraged her puppies to crawl toward him. Maya and the volunteers watched quietly, amazed at the trust Luna had placed in a human and especially in a young boy. The scene was heartwarming and inspiring. Omar also began to notice small details about each puppy. One had a curious personality, always exploring and sniffing new toys. Another was gentle and shy, preferring to stay close to Luna. He learned to handle each one differently, giving them the care and attention they needed. Luna seemed proud of how carefully he treated her babies, wagging her tail gently whenever he succeeded. One evening, Maya asked Omar to sit quietly while she brought Luna's puppies closer to him. She placed a small blanket on the floor and guided the little ones onto it. Luna nudged each puppy toward Omar gently, as if showing him the importance of care, patience, and love. Omar smiled and whispered softly, "I will take care of you all. You are safe with me." Luna rested her head near his hands, her eyes soft and trusting. The volunteers noticed that the puppies were responding positively to Omar's presence. They crawled toward him, explored his hands, and even nuzzled his lap. Luna wagged her tail as she observed their interactions. It was a gentle lesson in trust, connection, and patience. Omar realized that Luna was teaching him and everyone at the shelter something very important about love and care. Over the next few days, Omar became an expert at understanding the puppies' needs. He could tell when they were hungry, tired, or needed comfort. Luna encouraged him to handle them carefully and guided him in subtle ways, nudging the puppies toward him or resting her head near his lap. The connection was clear. Omar was now part of Luna's family. Maya smiled as she watched the scene. "You have a special bond with Luna," she said quietly. Omar looked at her and nodded. "She trusts me completely, and I trust her too." The puppies moved gently around them, exploring the small space and learning from both Luna and Omar. It was a peaceful, happy scene that filled the shelter with warmth. One morning, Luna brought all her puppies to Omar's lap at the same time. They crawled slowly, some climbing gently over each other, but all of them ended up near him. Luna watched closely, nudging any that strayed too far. Omar laughed softly and held them carefully, feeling the weight of their tiny bodies and the trust they were giving him. Maya and the volunteers quietly watched, amazed at the deep connection that had formed. As the week went on, Luna continued to guide her puppies gently toward Omar. She seemed to recognize him as a kind, patient, and loving human who could be trusted completely. Omar, in return, treated Luna and her babies with respect and care. He understood the importance of being gentle, patient, and attentive. The shelter had become a place of learning, not just for the puppies, but for everyone who witnessed the connection. The puppies also began to recognize Omar. They would crawl toward him, wagging their tiny tails and sometimes nuzzle his hands. Luna watched, her eyes soft and calm. She seemed proud of the way her babies were learning to trust humans, and she had chosen Omar as their guide. Maya whispered softly, "Luna has never trusted anyone like this before. You are part of her family now." Omar's eyes widened. "I feel like she really does," he said quietly. Even the volunteers noticed a change in the room. There was a calm energy, a sense of happiness and trust that filled the air. The soft sounds of tiny paws moving, gentle squeaks from the puppies, and Luna's quiet nudges created a peaceful and inspiring atmosphere. Everyone felt privileged to witness this connection between a boy, a mother dog, and her puppies. One afternoon, Omar sat quietly with Luna and her puppies while Maya observed. Luna rested her head on his lap, her eyes calm and soft. The puppies cuddled around her, some crawling over Omar's hands, others nuzzling into the blankets. It was a scene of warmth, love, and trust. Omar whispered softly, "I will always help you, Luna. You and your babies are safe with me." Luna's tail wagged gently, as if acknowledging his words. The day ended with Luna and her puppies resting peacefully, Omar sitting nearby with a gentle smile. The shelter felt alive with hope and happiness. Luna had found trust and care in humans, Omar had found friendship and responsibility, and the puppies were learning the world around them in a loving, safe environment. Maya looked at Omar and whispered, "You have changed Luna's life, and she has changed yours. This bond is very special." Omar smiled softly, looking at Luna and her puppies. He knew that this connection was just the beginning of many joyful moments. Luna, once a stray wandering alone in the rain, had now created a family that included humans and animals alike. The shelter staff, volunteers, and visitors could feel the difference. The room was filled with life, love, and a sense of purpose. Luna, Omar, and the puppies had created a story of trust, patience, and connection that everyone would remember for a long time. It was a reminder that even the smallest gestures of care could create powerful bonds and lasting happiness. As night fell, Luna curled around her puppies, keeping them close and warm. Omar sat nearby, resting his hands gently on the soft blanket. Maya quietly left the room, knowing that the little family was safe and happy. Luna's eyes met Omar's for a brief moment, calm and trusting, as if promising that they would always share a special connection. The gentle German shepherd had taught everyone at the shelter something very important. Trust, patience, and love could create bonds stronger than anything else. Omar had become part of her family, and Luna had given him a gift of trust and friendship that would stay with him forever. The small-town animal shelter was always a busy place. Every day, people came to adopt pets, volunteers came to help, and the staff worked hard to care for the animals. Among the cages, kennels, and play areas, there were dogs of all sizes and ages. Some were playful and energetic, while others were shy or nervous. Despite the busy schedule, everyone at the shelter loved their work because they knew each animal deserved a chance at a happy life. One rainy afternoon, a young shelter worker named Maya was walking near the fence at the back of the shelter when she noticed movement in the puddles. A German shepherd was standing near the road, her fur wet from the rain and her eyes tired but calm. She looked around carefully as if she was searching for something or maybe someone. Maya stopped and called softly, "Hello there." "It's okay. You don't have to be scared." The dog tilted her head and stepped closer slowly. Maya could see that she was pregnant. Her belly was large and she moved carefully to avoid pain. Maya knew immediately that the dog needed help. She gently opened her umbrella and slowly approached, speaking in a calm, soothing voice. The dog seemed to understand that Maya meant no harm. With gentle movements, Maya guided her toward the shelter gate. Back at the shelter, the staff was surprised to see Maya bringing in a new dog, especially one that was clearly expecting puppies soon. "Where did you find her?" one volunteer asked. "Near the old road behind the market," Maya explained. "She looks tired and hungry. I think she might be pregnant." They quickly made a cozy space for the dog in a quiet room away from the other animals. The room had soft blankets, a warm bed, and a gentle lamp that gave off a calm glow. Maya filled a bowl with fresh water and another with nutritious food. She knelt on the floor and softly said, "You can rest here. You are safe now." The German shepherd stepped carefully into the room and sniffed the blankets. She wagged her tail slightly, a small sign of trust. Maya smiled and patted her head gently. "I will call you Luna," she said. "You are safe, Luna." The dog's eyes softened and she lowered her head as if she understood that she was finally home. Over the next few days, Luna adjusted to her new surroundings. She was gentle with the staff and volunteers, and she seemed to understand that she did not have to worry anymore. Maya checked on her often, making sure she had enough food, water, and comfort. Every time she entered the room, Luna would wag her tail and move a little closer, showing that she appreciated the care she was receiving. The shelter volunteers were excited about Luna's arrival. They had never cared for a pregnant dog before, and the thought of new puppies was both thrilling and a little scary. They prepared a warm, quiet area with extra blankets and soft towels. Maya explained how to make Luna comfortable and how to watch for signs that the puppies might be coming soon. Everyone agreed that it would be a special experience to help Luna and her babies. One morning, Maya noticed Luna pacing gently around her room. She seemed restless but calm. Her eyes moved around, checking every corner of the room. Maya knelt beside her and said softly, "It's okay, Luna. You are safe. Everything will be fine." Luna sat down, resting her head on Maya's lap. The connection between them was immediate and strong. Maya could feel Luna trusting her completely. The other animals in the shelter seemed curious about Luna. From their kennels, they watched her with interest. Luna did not bark or growl. She only wagged her tail gently whenever someone approached. The staff were amazed at how gentle and calm she was. It was as if she understood that the shelter was a place of love and care. Each day, Maya spent more time with Luna. She would read aloud stories, sing soft songs, and even bring small toys for her to play with. Luna would sometimes nuzzle the toys and paw at them gently. The volunteers laughed quietly, enjoying the sight of Luna interacting with simple objects as if she were curious about every small thing around her. Maya also made sure Luna had regular checkups. She worked with a local veterinarian to ensure Luna and her puppies would be healthy. The vet confirmed that Luna's puppies were growing well and that she would likely give birth within a week. The news brought excitement to the shelter. Everyone prepared extra blankets, towels, and feeding bottles, just in case they would need to help. As the days passed, Luna became more attached to Maya. She would follow her around the room, resting her head on Maya's lap or looking at her with gentle eyes. The volunteers noticed that Luna seemed to sense when someone was feeling sad or tired. If Maya had a long day, Luna would stay close, nuzzling her softly as if offering comfort. One evening, Maya sat quietly beside Luna, stroking her soft fur. "You are going to be a wonderful mother," she whispered. Luna leaned closer, resting her head on Maya's shoulder. The bond between them grew stronger with each passing day. The shelter felt calm and full of hope, as if everyone knew that something special was about to happen. Even though Luna was pregnant, she was not afraid or anxious. She seemed to enjoy the attention and care she received. She explored her room slowly, sniffing every corner but always returning to the blankets where she felt safe. The volunteers marveled at her gentle nature and the way she interacted with everyone around her. The shelter had faced many challenges before, but Luna's arrival brought a sense of joy and purpose. The volunteers talked quietly among themselves about the possibility of new puppies and how they could help find them loving homes. Every idea focused on providing comfort and love for Luna and her babies. Maya spent the night in the shelter to ensure that Luna was comfortable and calm. She sat beside her, reading softly and keeping her company. Luna rested her head on Maya's lap, closing her eyes peacefully. The gentle rhythm of her breathing filled the room, creating a sense of calm that spread to everyone nearby. As the first night passed, the volunteers realized that Luna had already begun to change their lives. She was more than a dog. She was a symbol of hope and trust. Her presence reminded them why they had chosen to work at the shelter, and why every act of kindness mattered. By morning, Luna was awake and exploring her room again. She wagged her tail softly when Maya entered. The volunteers prepared breakfast and fresh water, speaking to Luna gently and encouraging her to eat. She ate slowly, enjoying the taste of the food and seemed to appreciate every small act of care. Everyone at the shelter felt that Luna had become a part of their family. Her calm and gentle nature inspired them to work even harder to make sure she and her puppies would be safe and happy. Maya watched her carefully, knowing that the days ahead would bring challenges and excitement, but also moments of joy and love that would stay in their hearts forever. The small town shelter, once busy and routine, now felt alive with hope. The arrival of Luna, a gentle German shepherd in need of care, had brought everyone together. They knew that soon, Luna's puppies would arrive, and their lives would be changed in ways they could not yet imagine. Maya smiled as she looked at Luna resting on the soft blankets. She whispered softly, "You are safe now, Luna. Everything will be okay." Luna lifted her head, looked into Maya's eyes, and wagged her tail gently. The connection was clear. The journey had begun, and everyone at the shelter was ready to be part of something truly special. The morning sunlight filtered gently through the windows of the small town shelter. The soft rays made the blankets in Luna's room glow warmly. Luna, the gentle German shepherd, was moving slowly around her bed, sniffing and pacing. Maya noticed her unusual behavior immediately. Luna's steps were careful. Her ears were slightly lowered, and every so often she would sit and look around as if waiting for something important to happen. Maya knelt beside Luna and spoke softly. "It's okay, Luna, you are safe. Everything will be fine." Luna leaned slightly against Maya's leg, her eyes calm but focused. She let out a soft whine, not loud or scary, but enough to show that she was uncomfortable and that something was about to begin. Maya understood that this was the moment she had been waiting for. The volunteers were gathered quietly outside the room. They had been preparing for this day, and now they watched nervously but excitedly. Blankets were spread on the floor. Towels were ready and a soft lamp was glowing gently to create a calm space. Everyone spoke in whispers, careful not to frighten Luna. Even though the shelter had seen animals give birth before, each experience felt unique and magical. Suddenly, Luna lay down carefully on her side, her body tense. Maya stayed close, gently stroking her fur and speaking in soothing tones. "You are doing so well, Luna. I am right here with you." Luna seemed to relax slightly with Maya's words, trusting her completely. The quiet room was filled with a sense of anticipation. After a few moments, Luna gave a soft whine and pushed gently with her body. Maya saw the first tiny puppy appear. It was small, fragile, and covered in a thin layer of wet fur. Maya carefully picked up the puppy and wrapped it in a warm blanket. "Look at this little one," she whispered softly. "You are safe too." The volunteers gasped quietly, amazed at the tiny life before them. Luna watched calmly as Maya held her first puppy. She licked it gently when it was placed near her. The bond between mother and child was immediate and perfect. Maya could see Luna's protective instincts kicking in. Even though she had been a stray and unsure about humans before, Luna was now fully trusting and caring for her puppies. One by one, more puppies arrived. Each one was unique. Some had black fur, some had brown, and some had a mix of both. Luna cared for each puppy with gentle nudges and soft licks. The volunteers watched in awe. They could see her eyes glowing with love and attention for her babies. By the time the seventh puppy arrived, the room was filled with warmth and life. Luna lay carefully, her body curled around her newborns. The volunteers were amazed at how calm she was. She did not bark or move nervously. Instead, she seemed proud, gentle, and completely focused on her puppies. Maya whispered softly, "You are amazing, Luna. Look at these beautiful babies." The puppies were tiny and weak at first, but they immediately began to move toward their mother for warmth and milk. Luna encouraged them gently with soft nudges. The volunteers took turns watching and helping, but Luna did most of the work herself. She seemed to understand exactly what each little puppy needed. Maya checked each puppy carefully, ensuring they were breathing well and moving. "They are all healthy," she said softly to the volunteers. Everyone smiled quietly, feeling relief and joy at the same time. This was the moment they had all hoped for, and it was more beautiful than they could have imagined. The shelter staff worked together to make the room quiet and calm. They spoke softly to Luna and her puppies, letting them feel safe and loved. Volunteers brought warm water, extra blankets, and towels. Maya stayed close to Luna, holding her paw gently and talking to her softly. It was as if Luna understood every word and felt comforted by her presence. As the hours passed, Luna's puppies grew stronger. They nuzzled her constantly, making soft, squeaking noises. Luna responded with gentle licks and nudges, teaching them the first lessons of life. The volunteers watched quietly, not wanting to disturb the precious moment. Even the other animals in the shelter seemed to sense that something special was happening. They were unusually quiet that day, as if they too wanted to honor Luna and her puppies. By late afternoon, Luna finally rested. Her puppies were all clean, warm, and feeding. Maya carefully counted them. 7 healthy puppies, she whispered to herself. The volunteers smiled, feeling proud and amazed. Luna, once a stray wandering in the rain, had given birth to 7 beautiful lives. The bond between Luna and her puppies grew stronger with each passing hour. She watched them closely, making sure they were safe and comfortable. She gently nudged them toward her when they tried to crawl away. Her eyes were soft but focused, full of love and patience. Maya could see that Luna was an extraordinary mother. After some rest, Luna got up slowly and walked around her room. She sniffed her puppies, checked the blankets, and settled back down carefully. Maya followed her, offering gentle words of encouragement. "You are doing so well, Luna. I am proud of you." Luna looked at her with calm eyes, almost as if she understood every word. The volunteers took turns sitting quietly beside Luna, observing her and her puppies. They learned a lot just by watching her care for the little ones. Every small movement mattered, a nudge, a lick, or even the way she curled her body around them. Luna's love and patience were teaching everyone a powerful lesson about trust and kindness. By evening, the shelter felt full of life and warmth. The soft light of the lamps reflected on the puppy's tiny fur. Luna lay calmly, her head resting on her paw, watching over her babies. Maya sat nearby, holding one of the puppies carefully. The volunteers smiled quietly, feeling lucky to witness such a beautiful and gentle moment. Maya realized that Luna's arrival had changed the shelter in ways she had never imagined. The staff and volunteers were more connected, more patient, and more excited to care for animals. Luna had not only brought new life into the world, but also inspired everyone around her with her calm and loving nature. Even though it was a long day, no one felt tired. The joy of seeing Luna and her puppies healthy and safe filled their hearts. Maya stayed in the room until late at night, softly singing to the puppies while Luna rested. The little sounds of squeaks and soft whines created a peaceful atmosphere that made everyone smile. As the night grew darker, Luna curled around her puppies tightly, keeping them warm. Maya gently patted her head and whispered, "You are safe now. Luna, everything is okay." Luna's eyes softened and she rested, trusting that she was in a place full of love and care. Outside the room, the volunteers quietly left, closing the door gently to let Luna rest. They were excited to tell the story of Luna's puppies to everyone at the shelter. It was a moment of hope, love, and joy that no one would forget. The next morning, the shelter felt different. There was a special energy in the air. Luna and her puppies had created a sense of happiness that everyone could feel. Maya watched as the little ones moved slightly, trying to crawl toward their mother. Luna nudged them gently, keeping them close. It was a simple yet beautiful scene, full of life and love. Everyone at the shelter knew that Luna's journey had only just begun. The puppies would grow, learn, and eventually find loving homes. But for now they were safe, warm, and surrounded by care. Luna, the gentle German shepherd who had wandered alone in the rain, had become a symbol of hope and love for everyone at the shelter. Maya smiled as she looked at Luna and her puppies. She whispered softly, "You are amazing, Luna. Look at the beautiful little lives you have brought into the world." Luna looked at her with calm, trusting eyes, and gently licked her hand. It was a small gesture, but it said everything. Luna knew she was safe, and she trusted the humans who had given her care and love. The day ended quietly, with Luna and her puppies resting peacefully. The shelter staff knew that the next days would bring more challenges, but also more joy. They were ready to support Luna in every way possible. For now, they watched in awe as the little family settled, feeling the warmth and love that only a mother could give. Luna's journey as a mother had begun, and everyone at the shelter felt privileged to be part of it. The gentle German shepherd who had once wandered alone had found a safe place, and in return she brought hope, happiness, and new life to everyone around her. The small-town shelter was buzzing quietly with life. Luna's 7 puppies were growing stronger each day, and the shelter staff and volunteers were busy making sure the little family was comfortable. The soft sounds of squeaks and tiny paws moving across blankets filled the room. Luna watched her babies carefully, nudging them gently and making sure each one was safe. One sunny morning, a young boy named Omar arrived at the shelter with his mother. Omar had always loved animals, and he had heard about Luna and her puppies from friends at school. His mother, seeing his excitement, decided to take him to the shelter to meet them in person. As soon as they entered the room, Omar's eyes widened in amazement. "There they are," Omar whispered softly, pointing at the tiny puppies. They were moving slowly, some crawling toward their mother, others snuggling together on the warm blankets. Luna lifted her head and looked at the new visitors with calm curiosity. Her ears twitched slightly, but she did not bark or move nervously. She seemed to sense that Omar and his mother were kind and gentle. Omar knelt carefully near the edge of the room, keeping a safe distance from the puppies. "They are so small," he said softly, "and they are so cute." Luna wagged her tail gently at his words, and her eyes seemed to focus on him in a way that surprised everyone. She slowly got up and approached Omar, sniffing him gently. Omar stayed still, his hand outstretched slightly. Luna nudged it softly with her nose, almost like a greeting. Maya, who was watching nearby, smiled. "Luna has a way of sensing kind hearts," she explained. "She trusts you, Omar." Omar beamed, feeling honored that Luna, a dog who had once been a stray, was showing trust in him so quickly. His mother watched quietly, noticing how careful and gentle he was being around the animals. The volunteers helped Omar learn how to interact with the puppies safely. They explained that Luna was very protective and that the little ones were fragile, so he had to be gentle. Omar listened carefully, nodding and moving slowly. Luna seemed to approve of his patience and calmness, as she stayed near him and allowed him to observe her puppies closely. For the next few hours, Omar stayed in the room with Luna and the puppies. He brought small blankets and toys that the shelter had provided, placing them near the little ones. Luna would sniff the blankets and then nudge the puppies toward them, as if showing them how to explore safely. Omar watched in amazement as Luna's careful movements guided her babies. He noticed that Luna had a special way of looking at each puppy. She would focus on one, nudge it gently, and then move to the next. It was clear that she remembered each one individually. Omar whispered to Maya, "She knows every single one of them. It's like she can see their tiny personalities." Maya nodded, smiling softly. "That's exactly right. A mother's love is very strong, especially for puppies." As the day went on, Omar learned how to hold the puppies carefully. With Maya's guidance, he picked up a tiny black and brown puppy and held it gently in his hands. The puppy squeaked softly, and Luna walked close, sniffing it and nudging it gently. Omar looked at Luna with wide eyes. "She trusts me with her baby," he whispered. Maya nodded. "She does. Luna senses your kindness." Omar spent the afternoon playing quietly with the puppies while Luna rested nearby. He noticed how careful Luna was, watching every movement and listening to every sound. The little ones would crawl toward Omar's hands, exploring cautiously. Luna would nudge them back gently if they tried to move too far. Omar was amazed at how smart and loving Luna was. During a quiet moment, Omar's mother knelt beside him. "Do you want to help care for them more often?" she asked softly. Omar's eyes lit up. "Yes, I want to help Luna and her puppies every day." Maya smiled, watching the connection grow between the boy and the dog. Luna wagged her tail slightly, as if she understood that Omar would be a friend to her family. Over the next few days, Omar returned to the shelter almost every afternoon. He would sit quietly with Luna, talking to her softly and helping with small tasks. He learned to prepare warm water, check the puppies gently, and place them on soft blankets. Luna seemed to enjoy his presence. She would nuzzle him softly, sometimes resting her head on his lap while her babies slept nearby. The volunteers noticed a special bond forming. Luna, who had once wandered alone in the rain, now trusted a human completely. Omar, who had come as a visitor, became a constant part of her life. His calm and gentle nature made him someone Luna could rely on, and in return, Luna gave him the experience of watching life grow in a beautiful, gentle way. One afternoon, Maya watched as Luna carefully guided a crawling puppy toward Omar. The little one explored the blanket and then returned to Luna's side. Luna wagged her tail gently and nuzzled Omar's hand. Maya whispered to him, "She is introducing you to her family. That is a special trust." Omar's eyes filled with joy. "I feel like she wants me to be part of her family," he said softly. As the days passed, Luna's puppies grew stronger and more curious. They began to explore their small space, crawling around and discovering soft toys and blankets. Omar laughed softly as he watched them. Luna stayed nearby, her eyes always on her babies, but she allowed Omar to sit close and interact with them. It was clear that she trusted him completely. Maya explained to Omar that soon the puppies would need more care as they grew, including feeding, gentle play, and attention. Omar nodded eagerly. "I want to help with everything," he said. Luna wagged her tail slightly at his words. She seemed to sense that Omar would be a kind friend to her puppies, someone she could trust even as they grew. One evening, Omar sat quietly with Luna and the puppies while Maya cleaned the room and prepared dinner for the shelter staff. Luna rested her head on his lap and the puppies cuddled against her body. The boy felt a sense of peace he had never experienced before. He whispered softly, "I will always help you. Luna, you and your babies are safe with me." Luna's eyes met his, calm and gentle, as if she understood every word. The shelter staff noticed the change in Luna's behavior as well. She had become more confident, happy, and calm since Omar's visits began. She seemed to sense that the humans around her could be trusted, and that she had a friend in the young boy. The volunteers smiled quietly, feeling proud of the progress Luna had made. By the end of the week, the bond between Omar, Luna, and the puppies had grown very strong. Luna allowed him to help with feeding, cleaning, and gentle play. She even seemed to recognize his voice among all the other humans at the shelter. Every time Omar entered the room, Luna would wag her tail and look at him with soft eyes, showing trust and affection. Omar's mother watched quietly, noticing how Luna's gentle nature had a calming effect on her son. She smiled as she saw him carefully placing puppies on soft blankets, talking to them softly, and stroking Luna's fur gently. It was clear that this connection was teaching Omar about love, responsibility, and kindness in a way nothing else could. One morning, Maya noticed something surprising. Luna had moved all her puppies closer to Omar while he was sitting on the floor. She watched him carefully as he gently stroked their soft fur. It was as if Luna was saying, "You are part of our family, too." The volunteers quietly observed this, amazed at the special trust Luna had placed in the boy. The day ended quietly, with Luna resting near Omar while the puppies cuddled around her. Maya gently patted Luna and whispered, "You are safe and loved, Luna. You and your puppies are in good hands." Luna wagged her tail slightly and rested her head on Omar's lap. It was a simple gesture, but it spoke volumes about the bond that had formed. That evening, as the shelter grew quiet, Luna and her puppies slept peacefully, with Omar sitting nearby. The boy felt proud, happy, and calm. He had become part of Luna's world, and in return, Luna had taught him the power of trust, patience, and love. The shelter, once just a busy place for animals, now felt like a home full of hope, life, and new beginnings. Luna's story, and the bond with her new friend Omar, was only beginning. Everyone at the shelter knew that the days ahead would be full of joy, learning, and unforgettable moments. Luna had found trust in humans, Omar had found friendship and responsibility, and the puppies had found love, warmth, and safety. The small town shelter had never felt so lively. Luna's 7 puppies had grown noticeably, their tiny paws now strong enough to explore every corner of their cozy room. Each day was filled with soft squeaks, gentle nudges, and the happy energy of little lives discovering the world. Luna watched over her family carefully, her eyes calm, attentive, and full of pride. Omar visited the shelter every day. He had become a familiar and trusted friend to Luna and her puppies. Each time he entered the room, Luna would wag her tail and approach him, resting her head gently on his lap. The puppies would crawl toward him, sniffing and exploring while Luna watched, nudging them if needed. Their bond had grown into something truly special, full of love, trust, and gentle care. One morning, Maya noticed Luna behaving in a way that caught her attention. Luna had gathered all her puppies in a small circle near Omar and nudged them toward him carefully. It was clear that Luna wanted him to be part of their world in a special way. Omar smiled softly and gently held one of the puppies, feeling the warmth of its tiny body. Luna watched closely, her eyes full of trust. The shelter staff and volunteers quietly observed the scene, amazed at the connection that had formed. Luna, a dog who had once wandered alone in the rain, had found trust in humans. Omar, a young boy, had found a responsibility and love that he had never known before. And the puppies, growing stronger each day, were learning about care, kindness, and trust from both their mother and Omar. As the days passed, the puppies continued to grow and explore. Their fur became shinier, their eyes brighter, and their playful energy more noticeable. Omar learned to feed them carefully, watch for signs of curiosity or discomfort, and guide them gently as they explored the room. Luna stayed close, her eyes always on her family, making sure everything was safe and calm. The shelter began to prepare for the day when the puppies would find their own homes. Maya and the volunteers carefully documented each puppy's personality, taking notes on their behavior, playfulness, and temperament. They wanted to make sure each one would go to a family that suited them perfectly. Luna seemed to understand this as well. She would watch the notes, wag her tail gently, and nuzzle each puppy as if giving her approval. One afternoon, Omar noticed that Luna was bringing all her puppies closer to him again. They were crawling over each other, exploring his lap and gently pawing at his hands. Luna rested her head near him, her eyes soft and trusting. Omar whispered quietly, "I promise to always help you. Luna, you and your puppies will always be safe with me." Luna wagged her tail slightly, a small but powerful sign of approval. The volunteers and staff felt a special warmth in the room. The soft sounds of tiny paws, gentle whines, and Luna's calm nudges created an atmosphere full of life and love. Everyone realized that this was more than just caring for animals. It was about building bonds, trust, and mutual respect. Luna had taught them all something valuable about patience, understanding, and gentle care. As the weeks went by, the puppies grew stronger and more confident. They explored the room, played with soft toys, and began to respond to gentle voices. Omar laughed quietly as he watched them chase each other, crawl over blankets, and discover new objects. Luna watched calmly, always ready to guide and protect, but also allowing her babies to explore the world. Finally, the day came when it was time for the first puppies to go to their new homes. The shelter had found families who were ready to provide love, care, and attention. Omar helped prepare each puppy carefully, making sure they were comfortable and happy. Luna watched, wagging her tail and nudging the puppies gently, almost as if she understood that they were ready for their next adventure. When the first puppy left, Luna seemed calm, but her eyes were focused. Omar held the little one gently, whispered soft words, and placed it in the waiting arms of its new family. The puppy looked back briefly and then settled happily with its new family. Luna gave a soft nudge with her nose, and Omar smiled. He understood that Luna was proud of her baby, and that trust and love were still present even in goodbye. One by one, the puppies went to their new homes. Each farewell was filled with gentle care, soft words, and a sense of accomplishment. Luna remained calm, watching over the process, and Omar stayed close to her side. The bond they had formed was stronger than ever. Luna knew she had a safe and loving friend in Omar, and he knew he had a special responsibility and privilege in caring for her and her puppies. Finally, only Luna remained in the room. She had cared for all 7 puppies, nurtured them, and now watched as they began new lives with loving families. Omar knelt beside her and gently stroked her fur. "You did an amazing job, Luna. Your babies are happy and safe, and so are you," he whispered softly. Luna wagged her tail gently, resting her head on Omar's lap. Maya and the volunteers looked on, smiling quietly. They had witnessed something extraordinary. A stray German shepherd who had wandered alone in the rain had become a mother, teacher, and friend. Her trust in humans had grown, and she had created a family that included both puppies and a young boy who cared deeply for her. Omar's mother knelt beside him and whispered, "Do you want to bring Luna home with us?" Omar's eyes lit up. "Yes, I want her to be part of our family forever," he said softly. Luna wagged her tail energetically at his words, almost as if she understood exactly what was happening. She nuzzled Omar gently, showing that she approved of this new chapter in her life. The shelter staff helped prepare Luna for her new home. They packed her belongings, including her favorite blankets, toys, and a small bag of food. Omar carried her carefully, feeling the warmth of her body and the trust in her eyes. Luna rested her head on his shoulder, calm and happy, knowing that she was going to a place full of love. When they arrived at Omar's home, Luna explored her new space carefully. She sniffed the furniture, walked slowly through each room, and finally settled in a cozy corner with her favorite blanket. Omar stayed close, stroking her fur and talking to her softly. Luna wagged her tail gently, showing that she was comfortable and happy. The days that followed were filled with joy and learning. Luna adjusted to her new home, exploring her surroundings and enjoying the attention from Omar and his family. The bond between Luna and Omar grew even stronger. She trusted him completely, and he continued to care for her and her memories of her puppies with love and respect. The shelter continued to receive updates from the families who had adopted the puppies. Each message brought joy and pride. The puppies were happy, healthy, and thriving in their new homes. Luna's journey from a stray dog to a loving mother and finally to a trusted family member had inspired everyone who had witnessed it. Omar and Luna spent their days together, playing in the yard, going for walks, and enjoying quiet moments together. The gentle German shepherd had found her forever home, and Omar had found a loyal, loving companion. The story of Luna and her puppies became well known in the town, inspiring others to care for animals, show patience, and build trust. One evening, Omar sat quietly with Luna, resting her head on his lap. He looked at her calmly and whispered, "Thank you, Luna. You taught me so much about love and trust. I will always take care of you." Luna wagged her tail softly, nuzzling him gently. It was a simple gesture, but it spoke of the deep connection they shared. Maya visited sometimes, bringing news from the shelter and checking on Luna's progress. Each visit reminded everyone of the remarkable journey that had begun when Luna wandered into the shelter, tired and alone. She had given birth to 7 beautiful puppies, formed a bond with a young boy, and taught everyone around her the meaning of trust and love. As the sun set one quiet evening, Omar and Luna sat together on the porch, watching the sky turn shades of orange and pink. The gentle German shepherd had found safety, love, and friendship. Omar had found a loyal companion and a life lesson that would stay with him forever. Luna's story was now complete in this chapter. From a stray dog to a loving mother, from trust to friendship, and finally to a happy home, Luna had changed lives and shown the power of patience, care, and love. The small-town shelter had played a vital role, but it was the gentle bond between Luna, her puppies, and Omar that made the story unforgettable. The future was bright for Luna, her puppies, and Omar. The lessons of trust, kindness, and love would continue to inspire everyone who had the privilege of witnessing this journey. Luna, once a lonely stray, had become a symbol of hope, family, and happiness. Omar, now her best friend, would always cherish the bond they had formed, knowing that love and trust could change lives in the most extraordinary ways. The room, once filled with tiny squeaks and crawling paws, was now a memory of a special beginning, but the love, care, and lessons would remain forever. Luna and Omar, side by side, had proven that every life deserves trust, care, and a chance to be happy.